LeBron Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
This is the Dallas Cowboys Pepsi postgame show. Pepsi, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, here's Zach Wolchuk and Bryan Broaddus.
Seibert booms it to the left. It is covered, and Thomas running it back. Thomas with the Cowboys' second kickoff return for a touchdown in the game. This game is drunk.
Wow, what a wild fourth quarter that was. A historical game as the Cowboys snap their 5-game losing streak. They've put the Commanders now in a 3-game skid. Cowboys win on the road, 4-7 on the year now, 4-2 away from AT&T Stadium, 34-26. The Cowboys go into Washington and upset the Commanders. That fourth quarter was wild. Brandon Aubrey got things going with a 48-yard field goal to put the Cowboys up 13-9. Then you had a Luke Schoonmaker 22-yard touchdown snag to make it 20-9. Thought maybe that was going to put the nail in the coffin for Washington. The offense couldn't do anything. Cowboys defense was brilliant. Not so fast. 9 plays, 69 yards. Commanders go right down the field. Zach Ertz ends up catching a touchdown pass. Jaden Daniels gets a 2-point conversion. It's 20-17. Ensuing kickoff. Kavante Turpin, bye-bye. 99 yards to the crib. Cowboys up 27-17. Washington then elects to kick a field goal to preserve time with 1:09 seconds. They nail the 51-yarder. It's a 7-point game and a quick Cowboys 3-and-out. First play, Terry McLaurin, 86 yards. And at that moment, I'm thinking, oh, my goodness, does Dan Quinn just say, screw this, I'm going for 2 and the win?
Yeah.
They elect for the point after try, and Austin Siebert misses it. 27-26. Wanye Thomas then takes the onside kick return, 43 yards for a touchdown. I know a lot of people, hey, Wanye just go down. The clock would have run out.
Yeah.
Probably a tough scenario for him to not take it and score. But the first time in Cowboys history, they returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns. Holy hell, Bryan Broaddus, the Super Bowl winning scout. I'm Zach Wolchuk, 877-881-1053. The number to call, the number to text on the official postgame show of your Dallas Cowboys, brought to you by Pepsi, made for Cowboys watching.
Yeah, a lot of information there. All it seemed like in the fourth quarter there, but
it was insane.
It was insane. Unfortunately for the Cowboys, that one pass play, they just got to find a way to keep a Commander ball carrier in bounds, and then they give up an 87-yard touchdown play. That was the worst situation that you could be in for the Dallas Cowboys to allow that to happen. I'm honestly surprised Dan Quinn didn't go for 2. You had Dallas basically on their heels, stunned by that play. They could have used something. They could have used Daniels. They could have, their running back situation wasn't probably the best. You got Austin Eckler down there that you could use, but the fact that you have so many options with Daniels potentially running the football, Dallas is very fortunate that they did not go for 2, and you saw the finish that you had. But, hey, listen, the Cowboys' jobs, these players and, the players and stuff, I've been just kind of having these discussions with people on Twitter about this. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, they're all mad because of the draft position. As fans, yes, you want the best draft position. Their job's to win games. You could be mad about this if you're a fan that wants them to tank and not win games and get the best draft position. I get it. But you know what? Their job, like I said, is to win. I've been in that situation before where it's your job. That's what you want to do. You come to these games, you prepare every week, you try and win games. And, I be honest with you, I thought the Commanders were going to be a better team today. They weren't. They absolutely weren't. Dallas did a great job with the pressure packages and stuff they were able to do. They kept Daniels kind of off balance a little bit. He wasn't as accurate as he normally is, and they made some plays, and they kind of held the Commanders' run game in check as well. Give them a lot of credit. Dallas's defense, Mike Zimmer, and, but like they say, that one final play, that 87-yard pass, boy, that was just the one blemish I felt like that they had today. Other than that, hey, that's for them, that's a nice victory. You get a victory against a team that's battling for playoffs, and when you are so shorthanded on the offensive line, give the offensive line a lot of credit for, creating holes for Rico Dowdle. The way they ran the ball, Cooper Rush played a very efficient game. Didn't turn the ball over. Played with some really smarts about him. And then CeeDee Lamb, he gets all these. He got 10 receptions for 67 yards. Yeah, it wasn't game-breaking type stuff, but they did enough on offense today to get that game. Where we've seen them in the second half of games, here recently, where the offense just was a no-show. But today they did a really good job of getting after this Commander defense.
No, I mean, it really was a heck of a win when you consider, our buddy Todd Archer put out Zach Martin, Diggs out, of course.
No, there's no question, yeah.
You had 5 of your top players in terms of salary cap figures totaling more than $100 million, with Dak, Tank, Martin, Diggs, and Cooks all not playing.
Right.
They were without a ton. I mean, you've got both Tyler Smith's out, Zach Martin's out.
Shuffling the left tackles throughout the game.
Yes.
There was just so much going on for the Cowboys in this game that you got a tip of the cap to Mike McCarthy, the staff. We talked about, they've quit, they did this, they've done that. No, they haven't quit on that guy, and they're going to continue to try and win games. They're going to come home, they're going to try and win this game Thursday night, is what they're going to try and do.
Yeah.
And so that's what they do. And we could talk about draft position and all that all we want, but here we are. It's a nice victory for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that with you. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. I as if you listen to the postgame show and you listen to our show, the G-Bag Nation on the flagship 105.3 The Fan, you know I'm a diehard Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
And I love the draft. I get to host the draft show with you.
Right.
And it's amazing. And yes, big picture, it would be awesome to have the highest draft pick possible.
Yeah.
But it also feels damn good to win. And when the Cowboys are playing, I can't ever root for them to lose, and it feels really good to beat up on Washington as well.
Sure. I think there's a lot of people, if they understand the history of this rivalry, and there was a lot to be made that, hey, was Dan Quinn going to put a beating on the Cowboys today? And I guarantee you, I know I picked the Commanders to win this football game, because, again, Dallas, they were so shorthanded in a lot of areas. You hadn't seen any type of offense from this team throughout the losing streak. So good for them. Some of the things we talked about leading up to this game came to fruition, with some of the Parsons and an inside rush, and, the tight ends getting a touchdown, against the
the penalties.
Yeah, the penalties, that if you line up deep, they're going to make these calls. They're going to call, for lining up deep. So, things we talk about, and the Cowboys were able to take advantage of some things. I love the way that they went after the Commanders' secondary. I really, really do. And handing the ball to Rico Dowdle is never a bad option.
No, Rico, 19 carries. It's the most he's had since the Pittsburgh game. Averaged 4.5 yards a carry, 86 yards. The long was 9. I mean, the balance was there today. I mean, we were talking in the postgame show last week. Cooper Rush is throwing the ball, 55 times?
Yeah, that's not going to win.
I don't want to hear about this commitment to running the football and the number of touches, because you just don't want to run. Today they did. You had 19 carries for Rico Dowdle. You had 3 for Zeke. They mixed in CeeDee Lamb a little bit to 32 passes. It was very balanced, probably the most balanced it's been all year for Mike McCarthy and calling the game. Now, we're getting texts in. I definitely would agree. There were some certain moments. I don't understand why you take the timeout in that first half instead of challenging the spot. If you were just going to take that timeout, then go ahead and challenge the spot. Worst case scenario, you lose it, and now you've burned the timeout anyway.
Yeah.
So that didn't make a lot of sense. I think end of the game, some of that coaching, that could have come back to bite them.
Could have got him.
We'd be criticizing Mike McCarthy there if they lost 100%.
Absolutely.
So I think you still have some stuff that you can debate and talk about there. But as a play caller, I thought today was one of his better days.
Yeah, I felt like the fact, too, after they had the ball, where the ball was, they gave the ball to the Commanders at the 40-yard line, and he basically walked up to Bones Fossil and said, "Don't effing do that again."
Yeah.
And sometimes Bones Fossil gets a little cute, and I, like I said, hey, I really appreciate Wanye Thomas making a football play, but that's got to be talked about. Just get down.
Situational football.
Just situational football. You get that ball, get down, and this game's over. You just don't want to be in that situation where you've seen this team throw a Hail Mary for a game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
In this case, it might have been a game-tying touchdown. So, I think there's so many things that you just have to look at coaching wise that they were able to survive.
And then, certainly Guyton, you take away 2 first downs that were both passes to CeeDee Lamb that he converts because of penalties.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't love the holding call.
No.
But hey, but then you line up with an illegal formation.
Yeah.
And that's something where if you're doing a scouting report on the refs and you can tell us that's something that they're going to be looking at and calling, the team certainly has that information, is aware as well. Tyler Guyton's got to know he needs to get up.
Yeah, no, and especially after it happens the first time, and I'm going to guarantee you before that, the officials were probably telling him, hey, you need to move up or we're going to call it. And he, probably stayed in the position he needed. He felt like he needed to get off the ball the way he did. But to happen twice and then to nullify a big pass reception, that's really, really hard. It's real simple. Just line up, put your head in the midline of the guard's body, and that's where you line up, and away you go. And so, unfortunately, though, that happened. But I'd say overall, though, the offensive line, I give him some credit.
No sacks allowed.
No sacks.
And that was a good front.
You were worried about Fowler. You're worried about Armstrong. And, those guys played a little bit like they'd played at the Cowboys before. Some of the times where you expected them to have some success, but they weren't able to.
And you mentioned the turnovers. 3 turnovers today forced by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They just had the 1 turnover themselves. They've been on the wrong end of that pretty much every game this year.
Yeah.
And it did look like what we'd seen from Dan Quinn defenses with him on the other side. All of a sudden, boom, here come the turnovers for your Cowboys.
Yeah, they did a nice job of playing for their old coach, in front of their old coach, and give Lewis and those corners a lot of credit. Give Butler a lot of credit. He goes out there and he battles. Terry McLaurin is not an easy guy to have to deal with, and we saw that on the 87-yard touchdown.
Yes, I mean Josh Butler was brilliant today. He led the team in tackles, 3 pass breakups, had the sack. That was an Achilles heel. It was pick on whoever was playing opposite corner to Diggs. Today it was Bland, but Carson a healthy scratch. They found something here with Josh Butler, who was
had
really,
a sack
really good.
too.
Yep,
Josh Butler got him a sack as well. So a stellar day for him with, as you mentioned, the 10 tackles, the sack, and numerous
crazy
knocking defenses of the ball.
According to ESPN research, that 41 combined points in the final 9 minutes of regulation, most in an NFL game since the Lions and Titans in 2012 when they put up 43 combined points. That fourth quarter was nuts. All right, let's take your calls and texts. 877-881-1053. We do want to hear from you. We'll also hear from Mike McCarthy. We'll hear from Cooper Rush. We'll get Brad Sham as well. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only...
Pepsi, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Brought to you by
AT&T, the official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. WinStar World Casino and Resort, proud to be the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Please game responsibly. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
And the kick's away. And the kick is wide left. That came off his foot going wide left.
How crazy was that after Terry McLaurin took it 86 yards to the house? It looked like, oh my goodness, could we be in for overtime? We just broke it down. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Brian Broaddus. I thought maybe Dan Quinn would go for 2 and just try and win the game right there. Instead, they missed the extra point. And then Wanye Thomas goes 43 yards, taking the onside kick return for a touchdown. Maybe should have just gone down and allowed the clock to then expire, not giving the Commanders back the football. But 34-26, Cowboys snapped their 5-game losing streak and now improved to 4-7 on the season, 4-2 on the road. Commanders now losing 3 in a row. They've dropped to 7-5 on the season as the official postgame show of your Cowboys rolls on. We'll get to the phones here, 877-881-1053. Brought to you by Aristocrat. You just cheered for America's team on the field. Now see them on the reels. Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat. Now at a casino near you. Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you got a gambling problem, please contact 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over. And we begin. Let's go to Charlie in New Mexico. What's going on, Charlie?
Hey, guys. Glad for the win. I want to see that video again of We Want Dallas, We Want Dallas, when everything was going well. If we beat the Skins and we beat the Eagles, my season's complete. And I look at it like this. I thought we were going to end up giving this game away again. And you guys took my thunder. We're talking about McCarthy, and that timeout made no sense to me at all. And then the last series when we got the onside kick, the first onside kick, it's just like we laid down trying not to lose. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Charlie. I mean, I think big picture, it's still a bad team. But today they found a way to get a win against a Commanders team that, look, I think defensively is really what stood out. Your defense since the bye week, every week under Mike Zimmer, is getting better and better. They still don't have all of their pieces. Right. And they've gotten broken down in second halves of games because they didn't get any help from the offense. But today, the offense was able to extend some drives, and your defense put together 4 quarters of pretty good play.
Yeah, it's amazing when you don't go 3 and out. Dallas was able to sustain some drives and get a couple first downs along the way. And if, they had the punt or were able to get the punt off, or they didn't miss the field goal or get a field goal blocked, it's just a disaster overall for that. But, yeah, the defense got some help today. And you got some guys that, look at the fact a guy like Golston, who's really, he's had to play, the majority of the season. He just, he comes up with an interception and continues to get, better and better and better each week that he gets to play. And I think there's, several guys that are like that are they're getting better as this is going along. Unfortunately, though, it's not going to probably be a very good season overall, but at least those guys are getting the experience, in playing in these games.
Yeah, that Chauncey Golston interception, his first career interception. Last Cowboys D lineman with a pick was DeMarcus Lawrence. He had a 40-yard pick 6 back in 2021 against Washington. So there's something about defensive linemen for the Cowboys getting interceptions when it comes to playing Washington. Let's go to Jake in Stephenville. Jake, you're on the official postgame show of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, guys. I'll keep it short, man. I'm just, I'm just disappointed in the draft order. I know that you guys are taking some joy in a victory, and that's great, but somebody in this organization somewhere has to look big picture. And maybe not you, maybe not me, but for God's sake, we got a once in a 15, 20-year chance of going 3 and whatever. And Jerry Jones still wants to win. He's still putting Cooper Rush in to win. Still talking about winning. And it's just going to be a terrible season we're going to go through. We're going to get nothing out of it. and it's just going to be all for nothing. We're going to waste it, and that's just what the Cowboys do. They do the worst thing they can in the situation. Winning this game was the worst thing they could have done, so that's what they're going to do. I expect them to beat the Giants, the Panthers. I expect them to win 7 games and completely screw us. So y'all have a good show.
Appreciate the call, Jake. I don't know. I mean, Carolina played pretty damn tough today against Kansas City. Almost pulled out a big upset win. Titans got a win today against Houston, which was an upset. You had the Bears trying to come back and beat Minnesota. All in all, I think the draft order will work itself out. You're still sitting right now at 11. You didn't really lose a ton of ground at all with this win today. Look, NFL players and coaches don't believe in tanking.
They don't. They won't tank. They won't tank. As much as you could be disappointed and pissed off about the draft position and big picture and all that, their big picture is to win as many games as they can. And you know what? If they're picking first, or they're picking 5th, or they're picking 15th or 27th, their job's going to be to draft. So I don't, like I say, I understand it. Because I've been in that situation. I was a part of 5-11 football teams here, and you would do anything in your power to get a win. Seriously, you would just do anything. Your whole week was trying to figure out how to get a win, while people maybe in the media or maybe fans were like, no, keep tanking, don't win games. We want the better picks. Hell, I've seen teams with really, really high draft picks not do very well either.
Yeah.
Talk to the San Francisco 49ers about Trey Lance, if you want to get on one. So yeah, you could have a terrible season, a really good drafting position, and completely F up this draft. So hey, play out the season, see where you pick, and then go from there.
877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Let's pause, though, 10 seconds for station identification across the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
Cowboys beat the Commanders in Washington 34-26. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout, Bryan Broaddus. Let's go to Arjun in India calling in here. What's going on?
Yeah, I just want to say the boys, they're going to be the same old boys. I mean, congrats on the win, but like I said, this is false advertising. And especially now, looking at Brandon Aubrey, he's got more missed kicks this season than he had last season. It may be too early to say, but I'm starting to get worried that next thing you know, he's going to start deteriorating. So you guys have a good show.
Man, this fan base is, wow.
Brandon Aubrey. I mean, he had struggled apparently in Washington.
Yeah,
that was something.
And Christie's talking about the turf was brand new. There was nothing bad about the turf or anything like that. But here you are, man. Like I said, it's interesting that we've been having negativity for the last 5 weeks. And I'm not trying to pump sunshine up everybody's ass right now. That was a good win. That was a good win for them. As a fan base, you can hate it. I keep saying that, but that's a good win. That plane flight for them coming home and then having to get ready for a game on Thursday, that's they went out and they did their jobs today. For the last 5 weeks, they haven't gone out, and the fan base has ripped their ass for it, for not playing well, So, folks, you can't have it both ways here.
No.
If you're one of those guys or gals that are pissed off that they won today, then just keep it to yourself. Just keep it to yourself. And just say, okay.
I'd actually love you to call, and I'd love to fight with you about it. Let's fight.
There's no reason to fight.
I'm in
about
on
that,
it, man.
Because people are dug in. They got we got guys calling about big picture and all that. Trust me, if you sat where they sat, you would understand how important it is for them to win games. You would understand that, but you want them to have a better draft position. I think we all want them to have a better draft position.
Sure.
But,
But again, I think that stuff just will work itself out on its own.
Sure.
You had some teams that won games today that were ahead of you. It's going to be okay. Yeah. It's nice to be talking about a win after 5 weeks of misery and getting your ass kicked, especially against a divisional rival. Yeah. That's how I feel. And I think there's a lot of Cowboy fans that feel the same way. We're getting a lot of texts of, man, that was exciting. That was entertaining. I loved it. But I get being sick and tired of, the way that the organization's operating and the lack of success. None of that goes away.
Yeah.
All of that is still relevant. We're still going to discuss all that. This isn't a good team. There's a lot of flaws.
There is.
But at least for 3 hours, they put together a performance that we can be like, okay, they won a game. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels nice to be on the winning side of something.
Yeah. They beat a team that's battling for the playoffs right now. And they're battling in a team that's trying to win the division for that. So you can talk about effing up all that and all that, but trust me, if you were standing there in front of those guys and gals that work over there and said that same thing, they'd laugh in your face.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get back to the phones. Appreciate everybody calling in and being patient with us. 877-881-1053. We'll hear from you. We'll get Brad Sham. We'll hear from Kavante Turpin. More from the locker room as well. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
It's football.
Tour to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Snap the rush, has time looking around, left side of the end zone. Ball is caught. Jalen Tolbert for the touchdown.
How about Jalen Tolbert finding the end zone? First time since that Steelers victory, and the Cowboys win a game 34-26, snapping a 5-game losing skid as Jalen Tolbert, 2 catches, 22 yards, including that touchdown, one of 2 touchdown passes from Cooper Rush today. As Cooper Rush going 24 of 32, 247 yards, and those 2 TDs. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout, Bryan Broaddus, after a 34-26 Cowboys win over the Commanders. Continuing to take your calls and texts, 877-881-1053. But how about the special teams was just crazy today. It was absolutely bonkers. It was indeed the first time in NFL history that you had 2 missed field goals, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, and a blocked punt. Also had a blocked field goal today. Pretty insane that all went down. It was the worst and then some of the most exciting special teams you'll ever see. And part of that was Kavante Turpin, who had a 99-yard touchdown return today. And here was Turp after the game.
Did you feel the momentum swing in that moment when you were coming to the sideline, the celebration? Did you guys feel that at that point, that it felt like a victory was about to happen?
Yeah, man, I thought I iced it, man. That was the whole thing, man. I thought the game was over, but, it never over to the fat lady scenes, man, until it hit 0-0, man. Just glad the way we came out there and competed.
What about that finish?
Wanye? I mean, you went less than half your distance. I don't know if it should be worth a full 6 points like yours.
Nah, man, we counted one in the bag, man. There was something Bone say, man, we got to get one in the bag. So we close to 10, so I guess we got 7 right now. So I'm glad we did it because we needed one more in the bag.
How does this feel for this to finally get off the losing streak, to win a football game, and do it here on the road? What does this feel like for you?
Man, it feels good, man. I feel like we're going to give us some confidence going into next week. Thursday game, hopefully we can get 2 in a row, man. Just, continue to build off that.
What did it mean to you to supply that kind of moment to help end this losing streak for this whole team?
I just feel like, man, just me personally, bro, I needed that. My last contract year, man, I just feel like, man, it was good for me to have that, especially in special teams, man. It's just wonderful.
Did it feel like there was just some weird special teams mojo in general today? The missed kicks, the blocked punts, the touchdowns?
It was going all around, man. They were trying me, trying to get me to, come up with the punt return, the kickoff return. They were trying me with different kicks, man. I'm glad that it went between my legs, man. Just, God bless me with that moment, and I'm cheers to the end.
As you were kind of going through and running through, when did you know that you were going to score, and what was going through your mind when you were in the home stretch of that?
I just knew, man. Once I hit the spin move and I got through clear, and I ain't see nobody else but the kicker, and I knew he wasn't gonna tackle me. So I knew as soon as I got through the shoot, it was going to the crib, man. And one year got the last block for him. I'm just happy he got that for me.
How much of those spin moves are instinctual, or I read something and this is what I'm gonna do?
Now, like I said, man, I always do it when I ain't got nowhere to go. When they got me both sides and I ain't got to go middle, so I just just bring out something that people never seen before. I always do. I've been doing it since I was little, so I'm just glad I got a chance to put that on film.
There's Kavante Turpin.
Been doing it since he's little.
Man,
he is little.
He is. He reached.
Plays big though.
That was a big play. I mean, initially, once he kind of muffed that, I was thinking, oh no, is this going to be another special teams folly? Then the spin move. I mean, he hit B on the controller, and that was all she wrote. He reached a top speed of 21.35 miles per hour on that 99-yard kick return for a touchdown. 3rd fastest top speed on a kick this season. He's now, Turpin is responsible for 3 of the 20 fastest speeds by a ball carrier this season. Last week, his touchdown was the fastest. That's according to Next Gen Stats. A brilliant weapon. I mean, we've talked about maybe trying to get him more involved offensively, but certainly has put himself up there amongst maybe the best returner in football right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He is. I don't even know why teams kick to him, to be honest with you. I don't even. It doesn't make a lot of sense to, just put the ball at the 30. I mean, you look at today. Look at the first couple of kicks that he had to return. Ball was at the 30, 35-yard line. He's taking it, running at 32 yards, running at 38 yards. I mean, he's the type of guy that at any moment, I wouldn't even kick him the ball. I just, even punting the ball, I'd angle it away from him if I could. If I'll take a 39-yard punt instead of him bringing it back, or put the ball at the 30 instead of him bringing it back 99 yards. So, listen, hey, special teams, their session on, I don't know how much they're going to get to watch the film tomorrow because they got to get ready for the Giants on Thursday. But, man, that is going to be an interesting special teams meeting with all the things that went on in that game.
Absolutely.
With the good and the bad there. So, tip of the cap to Turpin. They need to get him more involved with some things. So
that speed. That speed is special.
And it might be a little bit too late, but, here we are.
All right, let's hear from the legendary voice of your Dallas Cowboys, the great Brad Sham, brought to you by the National Medal of Honor Museum. Join the mission at mohmuseum.org, and AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Quite a historical day there, Brad Sham. We were just breaking down some of the special teams. Holy moly. What was your takeaway from some of the good, the bad, and the ugly that we saw from the special teams units?
Oh, just from teams, Zach? I mean, it's the first time Anger's had a punt block since he's been here.
Yeah.
And we did not have, we had buffering going on the TVs. We could see it looked like someone got pushed back on the punt
center.
Steve unit.
Yes, Steve got driven back into the punter.
Good for them, because that doesn't happen to him.
Yeah.
And so they made a play, and then Aubrey. The last time Aubrey missed 2 kicks in the game was here last year.
Right.
And then you could see him when the kickoff went out of bounds, and he bent over at his knees and grabbed his head. I mean, so that's obviously unlike him to have 3 mishaps like that. And but then here they come and recover the 2 onside kicks, and Turpin's play was ridiculous, and Aubrey hit the other kicks that he needed to hit. You can literally live your life and watch football every week and not see one game with all of that madness that happened in special teams in one day.
It was crazy, Brad. I will say this, though. Of all those things that happened, those special teams-wise, Dallas being so short-handed on offense today, especially along the offensive line. Tip of the cap to those guys that had to be ready to play, got in there, were able to run the ball today, good enough protection. I be honest with you, I honestly expected the worst out of that. I felt like maybe.
I mean, I did too. But, but Bryan, I was. I mean, you made a great point there, because, and I said it on the air after the first field goal was blocked.
Yes.
Because they had one guy leak through, it was either the A gap or the B gap, and one came clean around the end. Well, what I don't know, and we'll know tomorrow, is who was playing on those protection units, particularly in the line, who hasn't, maybe all year.
Right.
And who wasn't there, who is, and it makes a difference. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it does make a difference if there's confusion and you're not sure who's supposed to be where and when, and I think that the very fact that you played, the very fact that they came into the game believing they could win,
yes,
with everything they had going against them, is a tribute to their resilience, which is not something we've been able to say since the game in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And that was one of the grittiest games I've ever seen. But you couldn't be more. This wasn't even and I think we talked about this on the pregame show, Bryan, with Eric. This wasn't even a knife to a gunfight. It was like a fork to a gunfight.
No. Yeah.
And look at them. And so then, Zach, you asked me about the special teams. And then the other thing I would say is, I have no idea how the defense played like that for 3 quarters.
Unreal.
I mean, now Micah Parsons makes a difference.
Yeah.
And, Nealand helped. But, that's a team averaging 28 points a game.
Right.
And they didn't do anything until, the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how about a guy like Josh Butler? They've been searching for help on that opposite corner spot with Diggs, and now Diggs was out, so you had Bland. But Josh Butler was absolutely brilliant today. 11 tackles, 3 pass breakups. I mean, that's quite the find right there.
Well, and he's been on the practice squad for 2 years, and that's crazy to have a game like that. And now find is a great word, Zach, because who knows what his future will be. But maybe you found a useful player. Maybe you found a third or fourth corner, and he's certainly earned more. And I mean, he did have a tremendous game.
The penalties, I mean, the Cowboys played a pretty clean first half. I don't believe they had a penalty, but then I think if this thing had have gone the wrong way, Brad, a lot of people were already texting about Tyler Guyton and some of those penalties that took away first downs. The hold, maybe when you go back and look at it, I don't know, but they called it. With that rotation there at left tackle with Richards and Guyton, I wonder your thoughts there of where Tyler Guyton is right now in his rookie year.
It's a great question because the hold, I mean, that was a takedown. That's 2 points in wrestling. So, okay, you got your money's worth. That happens. The one play, the first play where he came out for one play, and it seemed like he knew it was happening, and it was only one play. Mm. And so what's that? You don't see that. And then he had those couple of penalties, like back-to-back. You cannot line up in the backfield twice in one game. Yeah. You cannot do it. And Awesome Richards is not going to do that. Awesome Richards may not be, Larry Allen or Ralph Neely or Tyron Smith, but I think he's got a chance to be pretty good. And I'm interested to see. Bryan and I always say, let's look at the tape tomorrow. I'd like to see how Steele played because Guyton was a right tackle in college. He's obviously got some ability,
right?
But he's struggling. And me personally, I just rather see Awesome Richards play right now. But that depends on what they think.
Right.
Guyton's future is, which is what you just asked me, Zach, and I just don't know what the answer to that is, other than the only two things I think you could say is you got to fight through it. And I don't know, maybe he's just way better at right tackle. Yeah. So at some point, I'd be willing to look at that. But getting Richards in the game was an important, and then of course when Richards got hurt.
Yeah.
And Guyton came back.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just I want to say it doesn't matter how much talent you have. Of course it matters, but you cannot make those kind of mistakes that he made. That's not holding or, that's an act of commission. That's a part of the game. But those other things you can't have.
Brad, the line score said 28 carries for 91 yards, which is only 3.3. Boy, but I thought it was effective today.
So that's the point that's what you got to do. And Bryan, you and I both remember when Parcells had Hambrick, as the running back, and Bill said, "I don't care if we can run it or not, we're running it."
Yeah,
because you have to. Yeah. And so patchwork offensive line, and Dowdle ran really well, and you have to do. And then you see what happens. It opens up other things, and it makes them want to blitz like they did on the touchdown pass to Schoonover. So somebody blows a coverage. If they don't think you can run or respect the fact that you might, then you play into the defense's hands, and they won't be a good running team this year, but they can be representative enough to keep you in a game, and I think today's a great example of that.
Any final thoughts before we let you out of here, Brad?
It was good to, from our standpoint, and I think the people who listen to us every week, Zach, everybody needed to have a game that made them just feel happy. Yeah. And we all know it doesn't matter; they're not going anywhere. But just to feel good, just to have a competitive game where you get into the fourth quarter and you can think about strategy, and you have an opportunity for different little things to influence the outcome. We haven't had that in literally a month or however many weeks it's been since they went to Pittsburgh. And so now you have this game. And I just saw one quick shot of from the locker room, which that we had a network TV feed, and you could just the faces of the players. The players are the ones that I always think about because they're the ones paying the physical price, and it's just so hard to play this game without ever getting any reward. And when you see the smiles down there, I mean, we know we're smiling. It was more fun. It was more fun to do it. When you see the smiles of the players who are being rewarded for how hard they played, then that makes you feel good. That they had that coming, and I hope they get another one Thursday.
Thank you very much, Brad. Safe travels, and we'll see you on Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes, the voice of your Cowboys, the great Brad Sham, 34-26. Cowboys get a road win over the Commanders, dropping them to 7-5. Cowboys improving to 4-7. We'll get back to your calls and texts. We'll hear from Micah Parsons, head coach Mike McCarthy, and more. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of...
Behind every great company, Pepsi, made for Cowboys watching. Buffalo Wild Wings. Ford, your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. And by DallasCowboys.com. Keep track of the boys with daily podcasts and up-to-the-minute blogging at DallasCowboys.com and on the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Rush back to throw. Protection's good. There's the deep ball. Looking for Jalen Brooks, double cover down the right side.
He's got it.
He caught the ball down at the 25-yard line of Washington.
Pretty remarkable there. It looked like, oh no, the Cowboys' drive is going to stall, and then Cooper Rush heaving that ball down the sideline to find Jalen Brooks. That was his lone catch of the game, but a 41-yarder there that, there was not a lot of room for that ball to be completed. I don't think Jeremy Chin played it particularly well, but nice catch there for Jalen Brooks, one of the Cowboys' big chunk plays in their 34-26 win over the Commanders. Zach Wolchuk alongside Bryan Broaddus here on the official postgame show of your Cowboys. We'll get back to your phone calls here in just a moment, but Micah Parsons was talking postgame in the locker room. A big sense of relief, it seems like, from what I've seen from some of the Cowboys beat writers that were in the locker room getting to cover it, and here was Micah postgame.
Nah, never. That was the first one for sure. I never been a part of something like that.
Can you just talk about how your defense just continued to stand tall time and time again over the course of 4 quarters, and especially in that fourth quarter, needing takeaways getting taken?
Yeah, we did a great job. I just wish we finished there at the end. Letting them get that touchdown at the end, that really bothered me. But that's what I mean when I say we're a good team. We're slowly putting games together. This time we did all 3 quarters. I would just like us to finish better in the fourth quarter, but we're definitely on our way to being a team that we want to be.
What about the range of emotions when the kick, they missed the extra point, though, after that? Going from that low to that high.
Yeah, obviously you feel good because obviously you're in a position to win the game if you get another stop, but the point is you shouldn't even get there. That's the reality of it. We shouldn't even get to hoping that they miss a field goal, we block a field goal. We should be able to end the game on defense, get off, and we take a knee down, not all the kick returns and extra points and all that nonsense. We should be able to end the game. And we had 13 points in the last 10 points in the last 4 minutes game. So that part really bothers me. We got to do a better job finishing, just playing high. But overall, I thought we had a great day.
Micah, you've talked about being in a dark place during this losing streak. What is the feeling of ending this losing streak?
Obviously, ending the losing streak is good, but it's what are you going to do the next couple of weeks? Right? You can do it one time, but what is greatness? Consistency. So all I like is to do it against the Giants, get a win there, and then get ready for the December schedule. But all I like is consistency to play well. And like I said, finish this year dominant. And this should start right now. This is a good team that we came and beat. J.D. Daniels, man, he's a hell of a quarterback. Fast, great arm talent. I told him, I said, man, they would have played like that how they did for a minute. We were in trouble. We was gassed. So, high positivity for them. That's a really good team that we was able to come here on the road and get a win. But, I would like to see us do it consistently over the next couple of weeks.
Micah Parsons talking postgame. Big game for Micah. A couple of sacks, 8 tackles today for him as the defense continued a really, really good performance. They've been playing tough the last few weeks. Micah, and that postgame audio brought to you by WinStar, is the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. WinStar delivers thrills worthy of America's team with over 10,000 of your favorite electronic games. A 2-story WinStar spa and Cascades, our luxury pool complex. WinStar is a world of wow. Please game responsibly. All right, let's get back to your phone calls. 877-881-1053 after a 34-26 Cowboys win over the Commanders. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. Let's hear from our buddy Jim in Round Rock. What up, Jim?
Well, fellas, I tell you what, I'll take a win any day of the week. Tell you what this game reminded me of. I tell you, one time back in the 80s, I went over to Six Flags there in Arlington, and I snuck me a flask of whiskey in, no surprise. And I got aboard that Judge Roy Scream, and I got off that thing so discombobulated I couldn't walk straight the rest of the time. I think I got vertigo, but maybe it was the whiskey. Look, that was something. That was something to watch. We've been very hard on the play caller.
Yep.
And I think it even goes back to the game plan. I like what they did today. Really impressed with the way the young fellas did it on the line today. I thought they did a good job. I really was impressed. Now, Sham, I listened to the pregame show, and he's talking about 31 and saying, well, if this fella comes out and has a big game, and by George, he needs to be doing more stuff like that in the pregame. So I think that quarterback looked pretty good out there. Like the fact that they went downfield a little bit. It's amazing what can happen when you have a little time to throw the ball. So, hey, listen, it was I don't know about these folks calling in here bitching and complaining about, can you say that word? I guess we can. It's a verb.
You crushed it, buddy.
Got it.
Complaining about winning. Yeah. What kind of fan are you? I mean, come on. I mean, the draft's going to be the draft, and it'll all work itself out. But I'm with Parsons there. Let's keep on stacking some wins. Let's get some good vibes back going with this team. And, boys, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing better than circumcising the Washington foreskin. I tell you, that was just a blast. And listen, thanks for the joy. Hey, you done a good job, fellers, and I'll look forward to listening to the rest of the show, and I'll talk to you on Friday.
Sounds good, Jim. Thank you so much, buddy. That's our guy, Jim, in Round Rock, and I'm with you, man. It does feel good to get back in the win column.
Yeah, I can completely understand the fan base. It's thinking about the only way to make this team better would be through the draft. It's something the Cowboys, for the most part, have done a pretty darn good job. And if you start to trade away from, or you start to win games, and then you start to go lower and lower and lower, and the Cowboys have picked in the 20s, the late 20s, the last few years, and it's a little bit more of a difficult challenge to do. But I just say, you don't have to tank, just keep playing, and hey, they're getting guys back, but you saw today they kind of tried to give the game away again.
It's still not a good team.
It's not, we're not going to sit here once again and tell you guys that, they're about to run off.
Here comes the playoffs.
Yeah, all of a sudden they're running off 7 straight wins or something like that. Today was a good day. They caught a team that's struggling a little bit in the Commanders, but they're in the playoff hunt. They're in the division hunt. And so that part of it would make it a nice win.
All right, let's go to line 8. We got Jaime in Fort Worth. What's going on?
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Well, we're Super Bowl bound. We can't win out if we didn't start with today's game.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got that right.
No, man. But that's why we love them and we hate them, right? It's games like today when we're in a bad season and we're on a 5-game skid. This is really all you could ask for. It was an exciting game with a bunch that happened in the fourth quarter. And I'm happy, man. You know what I mean? We got the W, and I got to watch some good football, which I can't really say for the last 5 weeks.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I appreciate the call there. It's been rough just watching how ugly and putrid these last few games have been in the way in which they've lost the game. Yeah. So, I get it. The locker room needed it, but for me as a fan, I enjoy watching the team win. And I do. The draft stuff will take care of itself. It's going to be okay.
I'm going to be all right. I'm going to look at the same players regardless.
It's going to be okay. Don't worry.
Just look at the same players, and wherever they pick, then you find ways to navigate that. But my own personal experience is those 5-11 season, I would have given anything to win games. And and knowing that we needed, and we traded away draft picks. So, but I felt like we still needed the wins. And we just couldn't get them. And today they got one. And against a good team. This wasn't like, you just went out there and beat you beat a team. If you go out there and lose to Carolina or something like that,
which could happen.
Which very well could happen. Dallas is capable of still losing football games.
Yeah, absolutely.
But today they kind of put everything together.
They did. They did. We'll continue your calls and texts. We'll also hear from Mike McCarthy, Cooper Rush. We got Wanye Thomas. A lot more here as the post-game show rolls on. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
It's
offers 6 different vision correction procedures to help patients see.
Check them out at dfweyes.com. Tell them Drew sent you. Hood, hood.
Snap is back. Daniels is chased by Overshown. Throws the ball out. That's intercepted. That ball is picked off, only his 4th of the year.
Chauncey
Golston
that IV
back from the dead.
The IV must have done him wonders.
How about that?
Yeah. Chauncey Golston gets the IV, comes right back out, gets the interception. 1 of 3 Cowboy turnovers today as they get the win in Washington over the Commanders 34-26. They're 4-7 on the year. They'll have the Thanksgiving game on Thursday back at home at AT&T Stadium against the Giants, who got clobbered today by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Commanders falling to 7-5. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. We will get to your phone calls again here in just a moment. Appreciate all the patience there for those of you that have been waiting on hold. 877-881-1053. But let's hear from your victorious head coach, Mike McCarthy, after today's game.
The way you've been playing, everything that happened early in the game, missed field goals, deflected punts, fumbles, high snaps, to kind of fight through all that and get back to where you ended this game.
Well, there was a lot of good things that happened, too, the way the game started. No, I think we clearly, we had a plan. I think anytime you go into the game and, coming off a Monday night game and just the moving parts of who's playing, who's not playing, really went up till today, with Tyler Smith and some of the guys. So, obviously we left a number of guys home. And it just really, because there was a couple plays early you called that were, that Brandon Cook's practice this week and so forth. So I thought our guys, point I'm making, I thought our players just did a really good job of staying to the plan. We wanted to come in here offensively, ground and pound, and wanted to win the time of possession, and try to just really focus on being a favorable down and distance. We were able to do that. We had the giveaways that hurt because we had chances for points that we didn't did not conclude those drives where we did move the ball well. And our defense just kept banging away. I thought our defense did a great job, keeping the score, in the range it needed to be in to win the game. And really, the special teams is a tale of 2 halves. Their special teams made the big plays in the first half. Ours made them in the second half, and then we got down to the end there, and it was just a game since situational extravaganza. It's just it's like Yahtzee. Everything was in there. So. Just a lot of situational football, things to learn from, things we work on all the time, but you still got to execute in those spots. So excellent team win. These are the way these division games are supposed to go. It's just great to see our guys rewarded for just staying the course, just grinding it out. So the messaging's been great. Lead going up into it. No one's really blinking, just with everything going around us. So feels good to win. It's been a minute.
Clarence Hill, All City, Dallas. Micah talked earlier in the week, he said some of his podcasts about we're a good football team. Really, we were really talking about the growth of the defense, and you talked about the defense. You talked about the growth of the defense.
Yeah, definitely. The defense is getting better. I just think you can just see it. The understanding and all the way around. The staff, the players. We had some just out of balance games. And it's just good to see we've learned from it. We're getting players back. It's great to have Deron back today. He played to his pitch count, so it was good to see. And I think Mike is back. Full speed and able to play the whole deal there. But with the changes in the secondary, I thought our coaches and the secondary guys did a really nice job of rolling in there. And what can you say about Josh Butler, Kamon Hall? So these guys have really earned the opportunity, and you love to reward your young players that just continue to work. And not only did they have the opportunity today, but they made plays. So just once again, we're a growing football team. I think you're starting to see the benefit of a lot of young players playing early, and hopefully the fruits of those moments are starting to come into play here, because obviously we got a quick one here coming up on Thursday.
Mike Tyler to the ESPN. You talked a lot about ebbs and flows of games.
Yeah.
Have you experienced things like that before?
No, like I said, I just think it was a game management. Everything that could happen almost happened there at the end. Wanye on the onside kick, and it's a no-moss situation. So And I think those types of things we just got to learn from. But yeah, it's they hit we call it Vanna. They hit the 3-level play on us for the big play to get it back. So those are things that you work on every Friday and Saturday, and that's why you do it, because all those situations came to play down the stretch there.
Mike McCarthy, after a 34-26 Cowboys win over the Commanders, he was talking about that final Scary Terry 86-yard touchdown, and we did have a question on the text from the 510. Could we talk about how McLaren was able to score there, especially since they have gotten some defenders back? I mean, you still didn't have Diggs today; he was out, but anything stand out to you without going back and watching the tape?
Yeah, have a so much better opportunity that in the morning about 5:30 when that tape rolls in that box. Did I feel like that what Dallas will usually do is they will play their defenders when its opponent has no timeouts. You guard the sidelines, so you don't let any routes get to the sidelines. So naturally that puts a lot of pressure on your safeties, and you get really spread out playing that way.
Yeah.
So you give the opponent really an opening through really the seams of your defense, because but there'll be times, and we've seen this before. Remember when Kansas City right before the half?
Yeah, Tyreek Hill
right before the half, and the Chargers did it one time too as well. And you throw the ball and you're thinking somebody else is going to tackle somebody. But your safety play, I kind of felt like on that play you probably had some bad angles. And you also had so many defenders, I believe, along those sidelines to just keep the ball in play that they reacted really, really slow to that.
Yeah, I mean, I know I remember seeing Izzy McQuamu couldn't get off a block, maybe Jordan Lewis, the depth. Maybe there was some depth issues there with like where Lewis or Butler were lined up.
Hooker, those guys, I mean, it just – you can see, we'll see tomorrow, and I'll break it down at 3:40 tomorrow's Krusty's Corner on our radio show that we do every Monday through Friday, and give you an idea of what I saw there. But my gut feeling is you're trying to keep everything from getting out of bounds, because you don't want them to be able to stop the clock that way. And now you have to be able to react once the ball is going down the middle, and they really, really didn't react all that well.
All right, let's sneak in a couple more calls here, 877-881-1053. Let's go to line 9. We got Boom in Lubbock. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. First time caller. I'm just probably one of the few. I hadn't heard a lot of people say this. I think McCarthy is doing a great job with what he's been dealt, the card he's been dealt, the injuries, and the Jerry, things that he does. But overall, I think it was a good win. And I'm just saying, if this guy gave you 3 12-win seasons and he's showing you out of Quinn and McCarthy, hey, like you alluded to earlier, Broaddus, maybe McCarthy just needs a better bag of growth so we can do some things for next year. But all that tanking for the draft, hey, man, I'm like, y'all, a win is a win. And let's go out here and let's end this thing. But, man, it ain't how you start, it's how you finish going into the next year. And I think we can do it even stronger. That's all I got to say to y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Boom. I appreciate it. I don't think it really changes my thought at all about, what you should do with a new coach. I still think that's in the cards.
I do too. And I think the expectations, but he's right. The things that Jerry Jones, and he's the general manager, there's some things that they have done poorly when it came to building this team. There's some clearly some holes in this team, and a lot of the depth. Now, you've seen some depth step up and play well today, but overall, that and I think I personally feel like Mike's fate is sealed here.
Yeah,
I don't feel like this team. We'll see how if they get any more wins, that'll help for Mike's case. But man, I think that not winning, likely not winning the division, not being in the playoffs is something that the front office believed that they were capable. Their roster was built to do that, and they didn't get that done, or they haven't got it done as of yet. Maybe this is the start. Maybe I'll be eating my words here in another month.
They go on a little run.
But I just don't feel great about that. Like I say, Cooper Rush played well today. I don't think the Commanders defensively, they've got some Frankie Louvu, and their secondary is, I don't think, all that good. But, that's why they went out and they got Marshawn Lattimore.
Right.
Because they give up some plays in that secondary. But to the Cowboys' point, like I say, it was a good win today. I don't feel any different about it, though, going forward.
Yeah, I think that would be like a little bit of an overreaction to finally getting a win. I mean, you were still 2 of 11 on third down. We talked about some of the in-game coaching decisions, not taking the challenge, still taking a timeout.
He tried to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's still definitely some things you could point to and be like, ooh, what's going on there?
Yeah.
And then, the penalty stuff, some of the penalties that Tyler Guyton's having, maybe that is not a reflection of the coaching staff, but
you said it,
some of the mistakes are ridiculous.
No, you said this, and how am I breaking down referees before a game and breaking down referees on Friday and telling you that, hey, they're going to call you lining up in the backfield, and I would like to believe that they had this meeting where they told their tackles, hey, they're going to call it if you line up in the backfield. I guarantee you he got a warning about it too. He got a warning, he did it, got called, and then did it again. You can't do that. You just can't do that in a game.
More of your calls and texts, plus we'll hear from the victorious quarterback, Cooper Rush. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Every moment, every touchdown, every yard is a reason to celebrate.
sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Pepsi, made for Cowboys watching. Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away. Jackpot.com. The Powerball jackpot continues to grow. Buy your Powerball tickets now on jackpot.com. And by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
They are going to blitz. Rush to the end zone. Caught over the shoulder. Schoonmaker to the post. Touchdown.
There he is, Scooney. Otherwise sometimes known as Schoonover.
Schoonover.
I do know that Brad will sometimes
Brad loves to call
that.
him Schoonover once in a while.
But Schoonmaker, and you called it, Bryan, with the scouting report when it came to the tight end touchdowns allowed here from Washington.
Study the tape. They'll tell you a lot of things you need to know.
22-yarder, Cooper Rush to Luke Schoonmaker. That's our drive of the game, and 20-9 is what that made it. 5 plays, 44 yards, 247. Thought, okay, that might be it, right? That's the icing on the cake. And then, boy, we still had a lot of football left to play.
A lot of football left to play.
Those final 5 minutes. Drive of the game brought to you by Blockchain. Trust the team at blockchain.com to make buying, selling, and trading crypto easy. Play smarter, not harder with blockchain.com. Cowboys win 34-26 over the Commanders. It does feel good to say that again. Cowboys win.
Yeah.
Cowboys won a football game. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. And speaking of winning, here's Cooper Rush, your victorious Cowboys quarterback who talked postgame.
Yeah, you just got to get that ball rolling. That's kind of what we talked about. That was the messaging all week. Get one. And, especially going into a short week, you know you can get 2 real quick too. So you just got to get that one. And full team effort today, as everyone saw, and it was awesome.
Clarence Hill, also Dallas. Can you just talk about the fight in this team? You know, you're obviously frustrated with the 5-game losing streak. We talked about the guys who aren't here, but to continue to fight, no one's giving up, no one's saying what was it.
Yeah, it was a cool bunch of guys getting opportunities, show who they are. Kendricks talked about it earlier in the week. We're going to find out who's going to fight, and I think everyone fought out there today. We found out, and a lot of the young guys stepped up, played a lot of ball today, and that was huge.
Is it important to know that McCarthy has not lost this team? You guys are still believing, listening to his message and hearing what he's saying.
Yeah, a lot of games left. We're sitting at 4-7, and this is why you play them. You just got to get, like I said, get that first win, get it going, get on a streak, and let it rip.
John Machado with Athletic. You say pretty even feel, but what were your emotions like maybe during those last 2 or 3 minutes of that game?
Pretty insane. Happy for Wanye scoring a TD, but at the same time was like, get down. But good job recovering it, I guess. But it was crazy. I think both sides of the ball and special teams picked each other up all day. We turn over, they get a stop. They score, we went down and scored. Brandon hits a deep field goal there, and Turp does his thing. I think it was a full team effort. Showed guys playing for each other, fighting for each other, and finally picking each other up like we're supposed to.
Todd Archer, the ESPN. Kendricks said that in the team meeting this week about we're going to find out who's going to fight. Is that where that came from?
I think it was his post game last week or maybe earlier in the week. But it was to you guys.
And then with Turpin's kick return, you know how fast he is. Saw last week on the touchdown. Are you watching that play, or are you already in your mind thinking of a first down call?
Well, yeah, it was a tough kick. It was actually a really good job by him just to field it. It was a knuckleball, and you think, all right, we're going to get the ball in 20. All of a sudden he hits a spin move, and you're like, oh my God, everyone just ran by him, and then he puts on the gas, and I want to see the GPS speed on that one again.
Tommy Arch, Dallas Cowboys.com. Cooper with TJ and Brock in there at the guard spots. What did you see from them, and how much easier did that make things for you today?
Yeah, those guys up front all day, we ran it well. Rico was running strong, powerful, yards after contact, pushing the pile. And those 2 guys inside, getting their shot, getting their chance. I thought everyone was pretty coordinated up there. Communication was awesome. And, Brock brought some juice in there, and it was really good to see.
There's Cooper Rush, your victorious quarterback, 34-26 after a Cowboys win over the Commanders. Good game for Cooper today, 24 of 32, 247 yards, couple of touchdowns. As Mike McCarthy was saying, that they did a good job of staying ahead of the chains for the most part. Solid mix of run and pass there. So certainly the best start we've seen from Cooper as he's been in in place of Dak. And we saw a little bit of Trey Lance packages. Trey came in a couple of times, and one was a run that didn't go very far.
-3, I think.
The other was a handoff.
And another handoff and a jet sweep. So, yeah, that was, Trey's trying. I mean, he's trying. But to be honest with you, I think Cooper Rush was playing pretty well today. I didn't know. He was
effective today.
Yeah, he was effective. I know there were a couple of series there in the first half that everybody liked to have back. But, my gosh, San Francisco about to return the opening second half kickoff here on Green Bay.
Oh, wow, there is a penalty. It's 17-7.
Yeah.
Green Bay leading at home over San Francisco. Niners very beaten up and battered today as well, as they don't have Brock Purdy or Nick Bosa.
Have I missed Deebo Samuel as kickoff return man?
They'll do that situationally with Deebo.
Yeah.
I don't think it's...
Craig Wallerstadt, your official today. He's the gentleman that called the game last week in the Dallas game.
There's a holding call.
Yeah, it's going to be a holding call. Back. Yeah, whatever.
Other games that are going on right now, it is, as we mentioned, 17-7. Yeah, it was. I don't love that call at all. No. 17-7 Packers over the 49ers. Seattle's leading Arizona at half, 7-3.
There's like 2 games going on right now, right?
Three total.
Oh, 3. And they got the Vegas Raiders are playing.
Broncos leading the Raiders 16-13 in Vegas as they play in the third quarter. We'll hit more of your schedule, your scores from today a little bit later on. 877-881-1053. Let's get back to the phone. So I know a lot of you have been waiting patiently. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus. We start back at the top. We got Coach James in Kingsville. What's going on, James?
Hey, what's up, guys? I called you guys a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, okay? Just this is for the guys that want Dallas to lose. Look, I'm a coach, again, and I'm a fan. I've been a Cowboy fan since probably I was old enough to remember what football was. And these are men. These are grown men that work hard all week, all year. A lot of them are probably playing for their jobs. They're not going to tank. Yep. And, McCarthy, he's playing – if he's not playing for his job this year, he may be playing for his job
somewhere
next year, somewhere else.
Right.
So, as much as I'd like a Dallas to get a higher draft pick, I sat there today. I wanted them to whip, Washington. I didn't care. I mean, like you said, the draft will fall, and it doesn't mean you're going to get the guy that's going to be some great player. The draft is always, a chance. So, second of all, and I remember not too long ago, I guess it has been quite a while ago, there was a guy by the name of Steve Berline that took over a team, and to me, the season's not over until we're eliminated.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things can happen with momentum. This could lead us into momentum. We could beat the Giants, be 5-7, beat Carolina, be 6-7. And all of a sudden, we're like right there at the wild card. So, you just don't quit. You just never give up. You play hard to the end. And then when you're eliminated, then you're really just playing for your jobs. So just want to talk about that.
No, I appreciate the call there, Coach. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. You never know in the NFL. You're not eliminated. I still do think that there's a lot of flaws with this team. Today was a really strong win, and it was great to see the way that the defense has been playing. But anything can happen against. They could lose to the Giants. It's not. And the Giants got spanked today, and clearly, I don't know. Maybe they'll go and actually play Drew Lock because Tommy Cutlets didn't look any good. So maybe they'll have a better quarterback on Thursday night. But yeah, I mean, you play it out in the NFL. You're 100% right. Like, I don't believe tanking is real in the National Football League.
I just thought they can naturally weren't good enough to win games.
And I still feel that way.
That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you have to tank. I just feel like you're not naturally good enough with all the injuries not to win the games.
One win isn't really going to change, how I feel about that. All right, let's get we got Abdal and Denton. What's going on, man?
Cowboys!
Get you down.
Listen, all right, here's the thing. I'm super stoked for the Cowboys to have a win. I mean, it's been a terrible season. It's been a rough 5 weeks. But, this weekend has been great. I just got back from a drive from San Antonio, so I'm super happy. I got to listen to the game through a combination of Odyssey and the NFL app and all that fun stuff. So it was super exciting. I had a lot of fun. Thank you to Brad Sham I wish I could have watched it, but Brad Sham did a beautiful job just painting the picture of the game like he does every time. And yeah, man, just super excited. And for everybody that's upset, listen, I just hope you have a nice rest of your Sunday. I hope you have a good week. And I hope that you have a blessed rest of your week. So thank you so much for taking my call, y'all. I really appreciate y'all.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we'll get back to more of your calls. That opens up a couple of lines as we're with you until the top of the hour on the official post-game show of your Dallas Cowboys. We will have a post-game show coming up on the flagship 105.3 The Fan with Jake and CA. So if there's any calls that we're not able to get to and you want to hang out and stay on the line there, they can take your calls. So you can also listen on the Odyssey app. All right, coming up on the other side, we've got Juanier Thomas. He's talking. We'll get back, of course, to you, your calls and texts and our player and defensive stops of the game. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Is your workplace on top of its game? For over 100...
Give me some of your precious time. I need a little bit of what Uncle Jim is drinking over there in his flask because I'm not really excited about this lipstick on a pig.
Okay.
And you guys want to call us to task, the Cowboys fans, about calling in and saying we should tank.
Yeah.
At what point will you guys at the mothership hold this franchise to task?
You're full of S right now. You're completely full of S.
Jimmy, we've been doing it after every single postgame show.
We have our shows call these guys to task. You know, we're respectful about it.
I don't agree with that, but thanks for letting me.
I don't agree with you. And
what is it that you don't agree with, Jimmy?
What more do you want us to do? What more do you want us to do?
How long does this have to go on?
Well, how much more do you mean has to go on? What more?
We're talking about how fancy and how fun this win is, and it's crap. This culture is crap. The leadership is not good.
They're gonna okay.
At what point can we hold this franchise accountable?
We
at
do.
What point where you guys will? You're not. You guys
Jimmy, you're full of crap.
Jimmy,
you're full of crap.
I did it last week.
You are so full of crap about this.
I did it last week after the loss. I said that Jerry shouldn't even be doing the interviews anymore. Jeremy, open up your damn ears and listen. Listen. Do you listen to the postgame show every week, Jeremy? Do you?
Every single week.
Well, then you're lying. You're lying.
You're lying right now.
Longer than you guys have been on the air.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Sure.
But if you're listening, I've done exactly that. I've done exactly that.
Look at the way you're reacting.
Look at the way you're calling in, just being BS.
It's not BS.
It is BS. We hold this team accountable every week. Zach, we talk about this team, the losses and what to do. We talk about firing coaches. I worked at DallasCowboys.com and on that platform for 3 years and tried to fire Jason Garrett. Don't tell me about holding guys accountable here.
You're not.
Whatever. Keep it going. You're fine.
And
Jeremy.
This is the problem.
You're the problem. You're the problem.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the call.
What a little B.
I mean, come on, dude.
Jeez, dude.
I've said the exact thing. I'm frustrated as well, bro.
Yeah,
The win today does not mask the fact that it's still bad. There's a lot of things that need to change. I hold Jerry and Steven accountable for all of this.
That's not going to change. But it's not. The front office is not going to change. Okay, and just as soon as you can get that through your head, you can focus on other things. But the front office isn't changing here. Sorry, it's not happening. God.
Yeah. And then the text of, the fawning over Jerry and Steven in interviews.
Yeah, okay.
I think that all the questions, and I've even asked fan questions in those interviews. So, some people just aren't going to be happy, and that's totally fine. But don't call in and lie and just spread misinformation. That wasn't true. And, of course, I'm going to react that way because I'm with you, Steven. I want to see change. I'm sick and tired of this. There's generation now of Cowboy fans that have never seen this team in a conference championship game, and that's unacceptable. A win today does not replace that. But two things can be true. You can still be upset about how this operation is run and how the sausage is made, but still, as a fan, after watching this team get their ass kicked for 5 straight weeks, enjoy a road division win over a team that I hate in Washington. That's okay, too. You can still find some joy as a fan. If you want to live a miserable life, go for it.
He
dude.
does, obviously.
That's totally fine.
My man lives a miserable life.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
All right, let's get Charles in Grand Prairie. Charles, how are you?
Man, I'm doing fine, Zach. Man, you and Bryan are my favorite people.
Thank you.
I listen every day, all day. Hey, that guy Butler played his butt off.
He did.
Parsons played his butt off. The defense played their butt off. I was very impressed. I was very enthusiastic about going into the game. I thought we were going to lose.
Me
but,
too.
Man, I tell you what, I am so glad. We got 6 more to go, baby. How about them Cowboys, baby? We're going to shock the world, baby. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I was very impressed. I love it. The time management, just keep guiding off the field. He's a drive killer. Oh, man, we're ready to go, baby. All the negativity can go to hell. We're going there. I bleed blue, baby. Me and my whole family. We're ready to roll.
Thank you, Charles.
Baby.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate the positive energy here on a Sunday night.
Still not a great football team.
No, there's still a ton of problems. They won a game, you know. So big picture, like I get it, and there's still a lot of frustration. This season has been frustrating, but it is nice to be talking about a win for a change instead of just losing every single week. All right, we'll continue with our defensive stop of the game. We'll get our player of the game. We'll keep your calls and texts rolling. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
The Cowboys are back. It's game time. And now you can get in the game with a new Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery. Play for a shot at $100K. And enter for a chance to win wild Cowboys prizes like season tickets, VIP suite experiences, and draft day war room experiences. Make every day game day with Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets. Must be 18 or older. Play responsibly.
The game is over, but there's always more to come. More chances to enjoy your favorite stars on and off the field and plate. Go and grab some Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys nuggets and bring the game home with you, along with all your favorite Tyson Foods products. And for every purchase of the new Tyson Cowboys nuggets this holiday season, Tyson Foods will donate $1 to the Salvation Army, up to $100,000. As
over the middle, he's got a man wide open. Fumble! Dallas is going to get the fumble by John Bates, the tight end.
There it is. That's our defensive stop of the game. Huge play. Donovan Wilson forcing that fumble, recovered by Eric Kendrick, set the Cowboys up to go on that touchdown drive, and pretty big time turnover there. 3 total today for the Cowboys. It was crazy when it comes to where are the turnovers? Where are the turnovers? And then here's Dan Quinn on the other side of the field. You were used to a season with Dan Quinn turnovers.
Yeah.
Boom. Here we go.
All you need is Dan Quinn on the field.
Here it is.
Get your
Absolutely.
turnovers. Yeah.
Cowboys get the win 34-26. They improve to 4-7 on the season. They'll have the Giants on Thanksgiving Day coming up just a few days away from now. That's back at home, though. The Cowboys have not won a game at AT&T Stadium. All right, back to the calls. Let's go to Reggie in Louisville. Reggie, what's going on?
Reggie.
All right, let's go to JJ in Houston. JJ, what up?
I think Reggie was waiting a long time. He has on hold. Yeah.
How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent, thank you.
All right, so first off, Jeremy is such a B and BS with his takes. But on my end, I did want to talk about Mike McCarthy.
Sure.
I feel so. I know we talk about a lot. He's going to get fired, this and this and this. But Jerry has come out of his mouth and said over the past 2 weeks, hey, the injuries, that's going to make me affect how I look at Mike McCarthy's contract.
Sure.
Nothing about a coach says you have to hire him at a certain point, unlike a player. There's no salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
So am I missing something? Could he not, if Mike McCarthy pulls out, say they go 7-10, roll out a couple wins here because of injury, Jerry then brings him back at the end of the offseason?
Oh, there's a possibility. Absolutely. I personally think I don't think Mike McCarthy's coming back. That's my opinion. You know, I kind of feel like, though, that there are a lot of expectations going into the season. The front office thought they had the staff. You talk about the injuries and all that, but that's part of the game. You know, the expectations were to go out and win this division. They weren't playing great football when Dak was healthy. You know, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. You know, nice win today, but they're very capable of losing some games down the stretch. But I personally feel like Mike's fate's sealed. I don't know how you think about that, Wolchuk.
Yeah, I think that he's probably, barring some type of epic turnaround to this season, which I guess when you look at some of the teams they've got coming up, losing records as well, is it possible? I guess it's possible. But no, after the way you lost against Green Bay and the fact that this offense is still really bad and he is the play caller,
right?
There's way more bad than any good that's happened this year. So I think that ship is probably sailed.
I agree with you on that 100%.
And again, I don't know that whoever you bring in as a coach is necessarily going to. I hope that it's the right guy and it is a culture change. Yeah. But until there's some serious changes made with the front office and how their decision making goes, because that's really been the one constant for 30 years, I don't know that anything's ultimately going to matter. It seems like you've got a systemic issue starting from the top that trickles down. So
and that part's not changing.
Yeah, the titles won't change, but maybe the way in which, like, who they're getting information, like the core group of decision making, how they do things, the lack of free agency moves, maybe the way that they handle the salary cap. Like, I think we've got a job to at least put enough pressure to where they need to know something does need to change. I understand that most likely it won't, but I can't live in the world of, like, we're probably just going to be spinning our wheels and nothing will ever change with them.
I think Jerry and Steven, I think they do listen to what everybody says in the media. I think now, do they do anything about it?
Yeah.
But I think they hear everything that we say. I think they hear everything that the fan base says about them. So, but will that change? No, because they'll continue to operate the way they want to operate. And unfortunately, though, that's where this thing is going to be. I just, I'd like to believe you need to have a coach in here that could change the culture of this thing and maybe bring them some different ideas of how to operate. It might not be a young guy, but what if you go hire Belichick? What if you go hire Nick Saban? What if you go hire somebody like that?
Yeah.
Then maybe things will change. It changed with Bill Parcells.
It did.
The way that when Bill Parcells came in, there were things that were changed. And that's because they respected Bill Parcells for what he had done throughout his career.
Yeah.
That's where change will happen. Because a coach does have a big stick in this building.
No, that's clear. We've heard about even position coaches and the coordinators having a voice in the draft room.
Absolutely.
Right? So they do. 877-881-1053, the number to call, the number to text. Go to Lewis in Fort Worth. What up, Lewis?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey.
Damn, I've been on hold for a minute.
I know, bro. I thank you for your patience.
Oh, no, you guys are good, man. I'm 2 for 2 so far. Last year I called you around the same time. But, hey, I want to get to the game. I mean, have not felt these many emotions in a single game in a long time. I mean, it started off, I was just baffling at everything. And then I got really excited, and I was like, man, here we go again. But it was really good. Aside from that, yeah, Krusty, question for you. Last night, OU against Alabama, number 95 Terry. Man, he's a hell of a run stopper. What do you project him going?
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I have not seen him. I didn't watch matter of fact, I was watching Texas A&M and Auburn play, and then I had LSU and Vanderbilt I was dealing with last night. So I did not get to watch one lick of the Oklahoma game. I know OU plays LSU next week, so hopefully I'll be able to see that. But I honestly did not see one snap of the Alabama game.
No, I got to see a little bit of it, but my goodness gracious, Oklahoma, I did not see that coming from them. Their defense was simply outstanding in that game. Appreciate the call, Lewis. All right, let's go to Dallas and McKinney. Dallas, what's up?
Hey, so I'm kind of curious. The Cowboys' main schedule is Giants, Bengals, Panthers, Buccaneers, Eagles, and Commanders, right?
Right.
If they can stop 3 players there, they have a unfortunate path to 10-7, 9-8. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's just they could lose to the Giants on Thursday. I don't think anybody would be surprised.
Yeah.
You know, they almost gave away this game today.
Yeah, they tried to.
It's still a team that defensively will give up big plays.
The Bengals game, you know, you watch Joe Burrow, even though they're losing games. And Cincinnati's defense isn't playing very well at all.
No.
But you talking about having to deal with Chase, those receivers and stuff there, that could be a real nightmare for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they still had, 2 offensive touchdowns today?
Yeah.
They were terrible on third down. Like, it's still not a good team. I mean, that's the thing with, you win, and it's like all of a sudden, okay.
Yeah, 14 points off special. Well, how many off special?
Yeah,
the field goals.
Well, and then 2 field goals.
2 field goals, yeah.
So, I mean, is it possible? 100%. It is. Yeah. But I would still look at Cincinnati better than you. The Giants don't look very good. I think you'll probably beat the Giants.
Not with Tommy DeVito.
But Carolina almost beat Kansas City today. You know, Bryce Young's playing some good football right now all of a sudden. So that game I don't think is a gimme. And Tampa Bay I think is a team that's going to cause you a lot of problems.
Tampa Bay is likely to win. I believe they got a really good shot of winning the NFC South.
Yeah, they run the football, and Baker's
quarterback's
playing
well.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to go that far. Is it possible? Sure. That's the NFL. That's why we love it. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen week to week, but I still don't think so. Let's get Dorothy in Phoenix. What's up, Dorothy?
Hey, how are y'all?
Excellent.
I would like to put a little different perspective on this game. My husband has stage 4 colon cancer, and I was hit by a car accident and had my back surgery. Okay. We spend our lives in bed right now, and all we have is sports.
Sure.
Unfortunately for me, my husband is from Detroit, born and raised. So, Lions fan,
playing well.
Dallas Cowboys fan,
playing well.
You have no idea what misery is until you watch Game 6.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In bed, you can't go anywhere, and you have to listen to it. This game today brought me joy, and he actually enjoyed me watching it because he's been seeing my misery the past few weeks, and I didn't want to watch it today, but I turned it on because I always do, and joy, today's game. Thank you, Cowboys, for one day that we could have joy, don't think about our pain and what we're going through, and be happy, and that's what today brought me. That's what today's win meant to me. The fans that are worried about next year, draft this and that, find something to be happy about. Find something good in this team instead of negative, because you're going to be negative. And if you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel when I listen to them on here, and I'm like, I just want to scream at them, but just find joy. Find joy in this team today.
Thank you, Dorothy. I'm glad that you were able to get a reprieve, and I think that's the beauty of sports.
Thoughts and prayers for both you guys.
Absolutely.
And I hope, to be honest with you, that Detroit bunch looks really, really good.
They look really good.
And for your husband, if Dallas can't get there, Detroit get to that Super Bowl and win one for them.
That's a fan base that's dealt with a lot of misery
absolutely,
as well. 100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was a beautiful call there, Dorothy. Thank you so much. All right, Xavier in Fort Worth. What's up, Xavier?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I don't know if y'all remember me. Y'all gave me a birthday shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I wanted to say that other caller that kind of teased y'all off a little bit, I spread that misinformation. Man, I just want to say, man, y'all hold everybody accountable. Y'all do your job to the T and respectfully. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I also wanted to say, man, I really don't understand. I really don't understand what this win was. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand if are they running from the top draft pick, from the draft pick that they need, or you know what I think, guys? I think they trying to pull a Philadelphia. That's what I think. I think they trying to win it all with a backup quarterback, and really they don't understand that this ain't that team and this ain't that coaching staff. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. Could very well be. Yeah, could very well be.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just blowing my mind. Like, I feel like we running away from a top draft pick, a pick that we actually need that could help us.
Man, you follow the draft pretty extensively?
Yeah, I do.
Man, there's no guarantees, man. You could pick Mitch Trubisky. You could pick, you go up there at the top of that board and take any player. You got to be sure. Do you have a better chance of maybe getting a better player? Sure. But you could pick, fans will be mad and be, oh, gosh, this pick ends up being Mozzie Smith. Oh, this ends up being Taco Charlton.
Mo Claiborne.
Oh, this ends up being Guyton.
Yeah.
Oh, this ends up being, Clay. You play the games and you go pick. You go select the players. Having the second overall pick guaranteed that Trey Lance went to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee. They just tell you where you're going to pick, and then you go find that player. That's what you do. So whether you're picking first or picking 10th or picking 25th, it doesn't matter. You got to go find those players and set your board up that way. I don't think they're running away from anything, but there's no guarantee that the top 10 player is going to be a difference maker.
Right.
There's no guarantee.
What I mean by running away, though, like, why are we still trying to salvage this season?
Because they believe that the last team, I believe, in the playoffs right now is 5-5. Am I right about that?
I think yes.
It's the Rams, right? It's the Rams.
Yeah, who play tomorrow night?
Well, they play tonight, don't they? They play
tonight.
They play the Eagles tonight.
Yes.
Okay, so all of a sudden they're thinking 5-5. That's the last playoff spot. What's their record right now? 4-7? That's what they're thinking. The Rams lost a game here last year. I'm just telling you what they're thinking. I don't think they're going to the playoffs myself.
No, me either.
I just don't.
And that one win, they're still a game back from a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
So it's such a clutter of a lot of teams that have a similar record. I mean, heck, Tennessee won today.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a team that was ahead of you. Carolina almost won. A lot can happen here, and you're going to play against some of those teams. So that's why it's like it will eventually, it's going to work itself out.
Jacksonville plays Tennessee twice.
Yeah.
The Jets play New England. I mean, there's things that are going to happen ahead of you in this draft.
It'll be okay. All right, let's put a bow on this one. Cowboys get the win. We'll get ready for Thanksgiving, maybe try and get a couple more of your calls and texts in. But if we don't, we've got the post show coming up with our guys Jake and CA, so they'll be able to pick up where we left off. That's on the flagship 105.3 The Fan. But we've got our player of the game up next. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
It's football season. Grab your Dallas Cowboys gear at JCPenney.
Ag and Turf, the official ag and turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. American Airlines, proud to be the official airline of your Dallas Cowboys. And by Ford, your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Snap is back in an empty gun. They blitz him. Flush him out to the right, chasing, getting out of bounds.
Oh, well, thank you,
at
Jake
the
Daniels.
45-yard line to save the clock.
How about Josh Butler? He is our player of the game. Josh Butler today was brilliant. He led the team in tackles with 12. He had 3 pass breakups today. That ties the most pass breakups by any undrafted Cowboys player since 1994. Last undrafted Cowboy with 3 pass breakups in a game was Sterling Moore, who did it in 2013 in a game against Green Bay. So Josh Butler was awesome, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Sterling Moore.
Brought to you by Jack Black. Want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit getjackblack.com today.
Trying to think where we got Sterling Moore from. New Orleans, maybe? Trying to think. Maybe I looked at that. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go for it. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Bryan Broaddus after a 34-26 win over the Commanders. As we put a bow on this one, we will have CA, the 3-time Hall of Famer, and our buddy Jake, who's coming on after this on the flagship 105 through the fan. If you want more and to stick around, if we can't get to your calls, they can take that on the other side as well. But I'll try fit in a couple more here right before we wrap this one up. So just kind of be quick, I guess, and concise. Let's go back to our guy Reggie, who we weren't able to get to earlier. Reggie, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Appreciate y'all getting me back in.
What's up?
Well, I just want to say I thought this was a great game. Butler, he made a difference out there on the field today because I played cornerback, and I like to see people come up. We saw some hitting today, and we saw some good defense over there. So kudos to him for being part of the game. Great team win. We had all the elements, right? We had offense, defense, and then we had special teams. And you get those 3 working in order, and you're going to have a great game. Been around since 65 with these boys, and so never will give up. But today I saw them play like a team, and it really made me feel good in the heart.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, Reggie. Thank you very, very much. SMU, Sterling Moore.
Yeah, he was New England. We got him from the Patriots.
There you go.
Yeah, Patriots. But then he went to New Orleans, and he's a coach in New Orleans right now.
Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
On that staff.
As coach.
All right, last call probably that we'll have time for. But like I said, if you're still on hold, you can hang out. They'll get you on the follow-up, the post show on the Fan. Let's go to Larry in Dallas. What up, Larry?
Larry.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
This is for Bryan Broaddus. I've been wanting to speak to you for a while.
Good.
You always put down Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is a great coach. You bring up names like Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. Those are has-beens. He couldn't do it in New England after Tom Brady left. Nick Saban couldn't handle it in Alabama. He quit in the middle of a season when he did have an opportunity in the pros. Don't put down Mike McCarthy. He's a damn good coach. Put the blame on Jerry Jones. We lost 13 players in free agency in 2024.
Mike has a say in personnel here, though, too, sir.
No, he don't.
Oh, come on
Everybody
now. Have you ever worked there? Have you worked for the Dallas Cowboys? Have you worked for the Dallas Cowboys? Okay, have you worked for the Dallas Cowboys? Have you worked for the Dallas Cowboys, yes or no?
No, I have not.
Okay, then don't tell me what the power the coach has and does not have with the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, let me explain to you this way. One day you say he has no power, he's just there. Now you're saying he
No,
does
I
have
never
power.
See, you get painted into a corner. You get painted in the corner,
I've been listening to you for a long time.
You get painted into a corner, and you say that. You say that. The coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
He is a damn good coach.
Okay.
Let me put it this way.
Fine. Hey, your opinion. Your opinion.
It's a lot of people's opinion. Jerry Jones, he brought in one player. You think Mike McCarthy just wanted one player? Come on, man.
Mike McCarthy has a hand in the draft. Go watch the videos and stuff in the war room. Watch the conversations they have. Mike McCarthy has a hand of how they set their board and what players they have.
No. Will McClay is the main person for the draft.
Okay.
He has been, and that's why.
Now you're talking out your ass. Now you're really talking out your ass.
No.
Because you don't know. You don't know.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You do not.
Because I'm a loyal Cowboys fan, and I followed them before you was born.
Oh, what year was that, sir? You don't even know what year I was born.
I know you're younger than me.
Okay. I was born in 1963, okay? I had season tickets for 20 years before I went to work for the Packers. Don't tell me about me. Okay. See, now you're talking out your ass.
Larry, I will say this, where you lost me, Bill Belichick being a has-been, he's got multiple Super Bowls since Mike McCarthy won his last one.
Yeah.
So I don't really get the point there. If you're calling Bill a has-been, is Mike a has-been?
That is who?
If you're calling Bill Belichick a has-been who's won multiple Super Bowls in more recent time than what Mike McCarthy has, which one's the has-been? There you go. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate the call, buddy. Thank you so much. There is the postgame show, baby, after a Cowboys win 34-26 over the Commanders. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout, Bryan Broaddus. The good news is we get to do this again on Thursday.
Yeah, people, if you call in, we don't make stuff up, okay? It's not about making stuff up and trying to just, blow smoke up your ass here. If you're going to come in and attack me on stuff, be ready. I'm coming back after you, too.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Chris Strong, Ross Lubinsky, Kevin Walker doing an awesome job. Peyton Russell, as always, kicking butt, taking names. Until Thanksgiving, hugs and hand pounds, everybody. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Hey, Cowboys fans, the Bahamas is calling. Start planning your ultimate